okay if I'm doing it wrong. I don't need soft words if it keeps me stuck long. Tell me where I'm slipping, show me what I miss. Help me see the pattern I keep calling bliss. I don't need excuses, I don't need disguise. I need something real, even if it cuts deep inside. I've been here before, and I know how it ends. If I don't change me, I'll be right back again. Piece by piece, I'm fixing me, learning what I need to see. No more hiding from the truth, no more running back to what breaks me. Piece by piece, I'm going slow, letting go of what.
What's up, what's up, what's up? It is your girl, Mrs. Kiwi, and I am with my co-host,
Miss Mink is in the house.
and of course, we have a great topic for you on tonight. We are basically doing a second part to Piece by Piece. I am fixing myself. But first, we're going to let Miss Mink give us that mission statement of why not say it.
Yes, so you know what it is. Our mission statement is to build that bridge. Take that gap away of the communication between our seasoned and our youth. We want to help our youth because, oh Lord, we need to grab them back, and we need to grab them back quick. But we want to help our youth know that their voices can be heard, but not only can their voices be heard, our season's voices as well. We want to make sure that, hey, listen to some of our seasoned individuals, because they have a lot of knowledge to share. And we want our youth to start thinking about what their future holds instead of what today may bring and all of this chaos that's going on in the world. So sit back, and we want each and every last one of you all to fix yourself piece by piece.
Piece by piece. I am fixing myself. Piece by piece. And you know, just to kind of give you a little recap of what we was talking about on last week, we were talking about piece by piece, fixing yourself.
Yes, by healing your relationships with money, identity, and spirit. The big thing, spirit. So that's what we're speaking of as far as when we say fixing yourself piece by piece, because there are a lot of pieces, that go with our human bodies, our mind, our soul, our spirit, and a lot of things are broken now. There are a lot of broken people. Heck, shoot, I'm broken. Okay. But you know what? One thing that I can say is with my Father up above, He is healing me. I am being healed. And all these demons and devils that try to come at you, hey, you got to learn how to give it to God and let it go. Let Him fight that battle.
Piece by piece. I'm
Piece by
fixing
piece.
myself.
Yes.
So y'all call in 515-599. If you have the number, call in. Because we fixing ourselves piece by piece. But guess what? We don't want no drama. We don't want no foolishness. So tonight we are definitely talking about piece by piece fixing ourselves.
Yes.
So the new version of me says,
okay,
piece by piece, I am fixing me. Say it until you believe it. And slowly, things start to change. Not overnight, but over time. You start to feel different. Money doesn't control you the same way. You don't panic the same way. You don't avoid things the same way. You start to experience peace, clarity, and control. And you realize you're not just building money, you're building a new version of yourself.
Ooh, just think about that. You know what? Kind of sit and meditate on how it is that from a money standpoint, a monumental standpoint, how it is that you can fix yourself piece by piece. That's a hard thing to try and do. And I'm not saying, me, myself, personally, when I say fixing myself, that's because I'm trusting in God and what it is that God has equipped me with to be able to fix myself. And we, as Miss Kiwi just stated, what was it? Money talk? Money love, where we will talk about money, healing, and truth through the spiritual aspect and cultural lenses. So, as we talked about last time when we met in reference to this, piece by piece, it's like a jigsaw puzzle. There is so many pieces to us that sometimes we don't know where to fit the pieces at, and that's just like with a jigsaw puzzle. You got to figure it out. You got to study it. You got to meditate on it. You got to try and put some pieces here and there to see if they fit in that particular area. So that's the same way with life. It really is.
And it says, you're building a new version of yourself. It says a version that is aligned, a version that is aware, a version that is whole, and maybe, just maybe, you're becoming a person you needed growing up. So, we got to just start looking at ourselves. And like you said, we have to start being in alignment. When you have things in alignment with God, then everything works out better and smoothly. When you try to align things on your own, it never works out. It works for that moment, but then bam, you right back where you started because a hiccup or a bump in the road then came. But if you be in alignment with God, then everything will work out smoothly and things will work out better. And his plan is never our plan. So just imagine if you make him part of the plan or let him even give you the plan, then it's going to work out right. It's going to work out just right.
Most definitely. And so it doesn't happen all at once. It don't happen overnight. Nothing's perfect. So when you think that, you're fixing yourself piece by piece to become perfect, you are of like, but you're not ever perfect. You can think it. Hey, everybody can think that they perfect, but just be real with it. You're not perfect.
Nobody's perfect.
But you can be intentional with it when it is that you are fixing yourself piece by piece. Because the truth of the matter is our relationship with money, with our spirit, with our soul, with our human body, period, is deeper than just numbers. We put value and we put numbers on everything it is that we do. However, when you are trying to fix you, there is no dollar amount on it. There is no dollar amount, honestly, on life. If your life was taken today or tomorrow, there is nothing that can be purchased, bought, sold, or whatever to get that back.
Sure.
Not a thing.
And none of the materialistic things that we endure or encounter while we're here, we can't take that with us. We definitely won't be taking money with us. So, that's why we're saying, like, just become in alignment with what you have going on in life. Be better stewards over your money. Think more, wiser of what you're doing with your money. Because we quick to say, and we said this in the first segment, that, money is the root of all evil. But we all know that money is just paper. So we know that the evil part comes in when it falls in the hands of the wrong people. Or when it falls in the hands of the people that's not doing right by the money.
That's right.
So that's where that statement comes. Money is the root of all evil. So when you start being more alignment with God, then God will start making you steward and showing you how to spend your money wisely, where to put your money to invest, or, even just putting a little bit up to have a safety net or for a rainy day or something like that. So
yes. And you know what, it's tied to what we're taught. We always talk about it starts at home, and that's no joke. It does start at home. And sometimes these type of things can be considered like generational curses because if it is that, your parents weren't taught how to do something, how to heal themselves by managing their money, or how to, make sure that they're putting the right things in their body so that their spirit and soul, can be rejuvenated, as well as your health, from a health benefit. So what we experience and what we lack and what we believe we deserve is things that we're taught. As children, we teach our children sometimes that if they don't have the name brand this or the name brand that, they aren't worth anything in the world, basically. But that's not true.
That's not true, because clothes don't make you.
Sure don't. We need to start feeding our children more into entrepreneurship. You can start that at a very young age. Very young age. And I'll just use an example. I know a lot of people talk about little Miss Shirley, the baby that, hey, she is on it. But that, if you hear that baby speak at her age, she literally talks, very intelligently, and she literally speaks very positive. So for her to be the age that she is, you can tell that her mom is teaching her, especially with her being in the limelight, the way that she is, and she done met so many stars, she making so much money. Her mom is teaching her how to be a steward over her money right now. And I hope that she's also teaching her that life lesson of how to enjoy life as a child and grow up with appreciating what it is that she, has been able to acquire. Some of us were taught how to survive, but none of us are hardly ever taught how to heal.
Yeah.
That speaks volumes, when it comes to, when you're in that survival mode, it's like game off. You out there trying to get it how you live.
Anything go.
But when you come down off of that high, then you have a lot that you have to deal with and that you have to face. And a lot of us don't know how to deal with it or face it.
And a lot of that comes from trauma. A lot of us was traumatized as kids, and we never got help, or, our parents never sought help for us. We never went and talked to anybody. So we're carrying a lot of that in us, So a lot of the bad decisions that we make are just decisions from the beginning. Right. The trauma of us not knowing how to deal with that, or how to heal from that, or even come back from that. So that encounters more of life and life, and these are more experiences. Some are bad, some are good, but even when you're going through the good ones, you only can celebrate the good for a minute, because then in the back of your mind, or even when it's brought back to the forefront of your mind of what's really going on, then you right back to the same thing. So this one says, affirmations, slow plus powerful. Healing isn't loud, it's consistency. Quiet discipline builds real change. Piece by piece, I am fixing me. Not rushed, not pressured, not compared. I release what broke me. That's the key right there. We have to start releasing what broke us. We have to know what broke us. We have to, we got to go back to, where did this start? Why am I not healing from this? What is it going to take for me to heal from this? Because we can blame money all day long, but money has nothing to do with the trauma or the heartaches or the bad things that you have encountered in life coming up from a child on up to where you are right now. It says, I take responsibility for what's mine. Meaning that you have to start taking responsibility of the thoughts that you allow to play in your head. We all have those thoughts that come back from what happened way then or what happened yesterday. But it's only when you start entertaining those thoughts is when they become more active. And, then you back where you started. And if you say God has healed you from that, when that thought comes, you rebuke it immediately and keep on pressing. Think about something good. Think about something that God has brought you through, and you still here to talk about it. It says, and I give myself grace while I grow. Meaning that I have to give myself grace because we are our worst critics. A lot of times we beat ourselves up about things that we made a bad choice or things that we have done in our life, but we have to start giving ourselves grace.
That's right.
Grace to be able to heal, to know that I made that bad decision, but guess what? I'm going to pick myself back up. I'm going to find out where I made the mistake so I won't make that mistake again, and I'm going to keep it moving.
Yes.
Then it says, my past does not define my future, meaning
sure
that
doesn't.
anything that has happened in your past, let your past be your past and live for the present.
That's
because
right.
if we keep spending time in the past trying to wonder about what we're going to do or what we should have did,
You're gonna be
we
trapped.
done missed what we supposed to have
Yep.
gotten in the present.
'Cause you're
That
trapped.
means that leave that battle to God and let him fix that. Mean that pray about that, leave it there no matter if that thought into rebuke it and keep it moving, because that's how we stay stuck and stagnant in the past instead of living, I'm saying the present, because you know what? I'm not going to say don't look forward to the future.
That's right,
but what
but you
I
may
am
not make
saying, you got to live for today. Let today take care of today, and let tomorrow be, you know, if God's willing, let you see tomorrow.
That's right.
Then you worry about tomorrow, because a lot of us ain't making it through today.
That's right.
Because
Ain't
we
making
too
it through the
busy
next
worrying
hour.
about the past or worrying about what's going to happen tomorrow, and tomorrow ain't even came yet.
That's right.
So we have to start being more mindful of that as well. It says, my mistakes do not cancel my purpose, and my healing is necessary. It's necessary because in order to have a stable mind, to be able to make wise decisions, we got to be able to leave all that and just handle what's happening right today. What happened to me today, whether
Right.
it was this morning or afternoon.
And I just want to say something real quick, Miss Kiwi, while you go, so you keep, you keep bringing up the healing part. So with that, in order for you to heal, you got to start at the beginning.
Yeah.
So some of us were taught to, as I stated before, to survive, but never taught to heal. Survival isn't the same as healing. And I think a lot of people get that confused. We have to start from the beginning, because before we can fix anything, we have to understand what built me, what caused me to be where it is that I am. What did I learn about, money growing up, relationships growing up, spirituality growing up? What has me in this always circle where I'm going round and round and round, and I'm never stopped where I can move forward?
And, well, I'm going to say this too, and this is just my opinion, but I believe that we all can agree to this, that we have to take accountability.
Yes, we
until
do.
we start taking accountability, because everything that went on in our life, it actually came from a choice that we made. You feel what I'm saying? So if we start taking accountability and stop pointing the fingers and want to blame everybody else and everything else, and start blaming that person that's looking in the mirror, which is you, you looking at you. Start with yourself. Know thyself. We say that all the time. So when we can start doing that, that's part of the first part of healing, is taking accountability of what did I do to afflict this on me, or what did I do, what decision did I make to bring this up on. We have to start at the root of it. A lot of people want to start at the top of the tree, but you done missed the whole thing from the root growing on up.
Right.
Where did it start? You have to go back to where it started. And I hear a lot of people saying, everybody talk about going back to the basics. Well, sometimes you need to go back to the basics.
Yes, you do.
And you need to figure it out, because apparently something from the basics to the time you are at now, you missed it.
That's right.
And you got to go back and start reprogramming your mind, for one, from all the bad learned behaviors that we have learned, including how to steward money, how to steward things, period. Because, a lot of us, we wasn't really taught values of, of money, of clothes, or of our life, period. You know
That's
what
right.
I'm saying?
And you know what? And just to kind of piggyback off of that real quick, have you ever heard, I'm pretty sure that we all have, heard that not just what was said, but what was actually shown. As you're growing up, as we stated before, what's shown, the struggle. We learn and we take hold to that struggle, and sometimes that struggle can be the very thing that bound us down, that keeps us from moving ahead. Can you because I've said it too, I can't afford this right now. But as a child of God, you should be able to afford whatever it is that, I'm not going to say that you won't, because your wants should not be your only desires. It's the things that you need. Right. It's those necessities that a lot of us say we can't afford to have.
Just to add, to piggyback on that, a lot of times if you think about when we say I can't afford it, that's because it's something we really don't need.
You're
because
right.
If it's something that is of need, we might say that in our mind, like, we can't afford this, but I got to get it.
Right.
Because I need this. But a lot of times when we say, I really can't afford this, that's because...
That's me.
Okay, girl, don't get to playing no games up in here now. A lot of times when we say we can't afford it, that's because, honestly, we didn't need it.
Right.
It was something that was not really of presence where we needed it, that was going to really get us to the next part of where we need, to be
exactly.
So,
yep, absolutely.
It says that I'm learning, I'm growing, and I'm becoming whole, piece by piece. I'm fixing me.
That's right. And you know what? And when it was that we were talking about this, even 2 weeks ago or whatever the case may be, it just stood out because I just think of us as jigsaw puzzles. It's so many parts, and sometimes you can't even fit it together. I still go back to that. I know when I was younger, I haven't done a jigsaw puzzle in a long time. I do word puzzles and that kind of stuff, but I haven't done a jigsaw puzzle in a long time. And when it is that you try to, put the pieces together and, you try to see where this piece fit and that piece fit and all that, it's amazing when it all comes together, but it's trying to get it together. And that's the same thing with us. When we get it together and we figure it all out, well, not figure it all out, when we blessed to get to the end where it is that we're supposed to be, then it is amazing. But it's that point of trying to get to that point.
It's the point of you got to turn it all over to God no matter what, because until you do, the more you try to fix it, the worse it becomes broke. So you have to learn how to listen, if you don't have that relationship with God, get one. You don't get caught up on, I got to come to God a certain way. Listen, God say, come to me as you are, and trust and believe he will deliver you from all things. He will deliver you from the things that you so desire to get rid of the world. And he will replenish it with all godly things. But you have to come to him. You got to surrender. You got to be willing, because God is a perfect gentleman. He's not going to force himself on you. Even though God is still with us every single day of our life,
every hour,
every minute, every second, every hour. We always tend to leave him, but then we put the blame on God. Why you do this? Or why you let this happen and this and that? And God was saying all the time, I'm right here. Yep. You pushed me away because you thought that this was more important.
That's
or
right.
You had a desire for this, so you didn't invite me in.
Right.
So
now you got to deal with those consequences.
Exactly.
Most
and the
definitely.
thing about it is that no matter what, I invite God into my day. I don't care what it is. Lord, I just cussed. Help me.
Right.
And I'm just being honest. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm just being honest. Like, I have got to the point where no matter what I am doing in my day, Lord, please be in the part of my day.
Yep.
I want to be where you at. I don't want you to be where I'm at. I want to be where you at. Because where you at, everything going to be running smooth. Because where I'm at, it's still some bad choices that I'm making, and I need to get rid of.
Right, that's right. Because it's all for the pleasing of him.
Yeah.
So, because like you had stated earlier about the grace, you know, giving ourselves grace. He gives us grace every day. Every
Mercy,
day.
grace, favor.
Yes. And so why can't we give ourselves grace? And everything that we do, believe me, that's not of God hurts God. So
Sure
why
does.
can't we give ourselves grace? You know,
Each other.
right.
We can't even give each
other
other
grace. That's
you know?
right. So just think about, you're not bad with money. You're not bad with money. You're hurt around money. And let's talk about that. So now, just basically take it from a real standpoint. Money carries pain. And I think we kind of hit on that a little bit last time, you know, when we were here and we were talking about this, because this is part 2. Financial struggle, instability, lack of money, that does something to you emotionally.
Mentally,
and
yes.
mentally, yes, it
Yes.
does. It literally can drain,
Yes,
you
it
know,
can.
some people. Most definitely. It creates fear. It creates anxiety. It even creates shame, because when it is that you don't, you know, and it can also create a lot of animosity.
It can.
Jealousy.
It can.
You know, and that causes a lot of harm, you know, to people when it is that you have animosity towards somebody because they doing well. Well, you have the same grace and favor to be able to do those same things as well.
I'm gonna tell you, and I'm gonna give you a little testimony, you know, and a lot of people don't know this, because a lot of people just look at me like as if this last year, when I say has been really challenging for me, I have not had a job because, you know, going through what I'm going through in my pain of my body and stuff, which God is a healer. Y'all still see me walking. I still get around and all of that. But I say that to say that through this whole year, I have not had a job. Am I bragging? No, I'm making a point. The point of it is that I allowed God to step in.
Right.
And I gave it all to him. And when I say I have not missed a beat, and I thank God for all the ones that God have put in my life to be a helper to me, whether it was through help, whether it was through encouragement, whether it was just, you know, being there for me, I thank God, because like I said, I have not missed a beat.
That's right.
That comes from the God. That comes from nobody but God.
That's right.
Nobody but God. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I can't give that to nobody but God.
That's
and
right.
then from God, give thanks to the people who have actually been there to help me through my little struggle. But even through my struggle, I still can say I have not missed a beat.
That's right. And you know what? When you have that faith and that strength in God, you don't miss a beat.
Yeah,
and believe me, you have your down days. You have your days where it is that, because, you know, hey, just like you know, yours is more so with the pains and aches of different things in your body. Mine's have it's been chaos. It has been chaos, even from the beginning of the year. But, you know, I've started to learn, because my chaos started honestly when I moved back to St. Louis. And not, you know, saying that it's nothing against my hometown, because I love my hometown.
Right.
But a lot of my chaos that I became in the knowing of, and really knew starting to know what was going on, started when it is that I came back here. But when I say God has showed up to keep me sane, God has showed up to keep me together, God has showed up to keep me positive, God has showed up even when them devils and them demons just keep coming. They don't stop. Believe me, they do not stop. And when they know that you are a child of God, they come even stronger. They come even stronger. But I tell you, hey, believe me, I have so much faith in God. I rebuke them. And as I stated, hey, I still will come out of my, and I'll get down with you. But I have really, and then I'm immediately repenting and asking God to forgive me for I've stepped out of the character that he wants me to be. And I know that I should be.
And, you know, I'm going to say this. Our pastor say it all the time, and I laugh about it because it's a true statement. You know, and like I said, just like as you just alluded to, you know, we we still kind of got that in us, but I thank God because I've came a long way.
Yes.
And it takes way more now than it did then, because it was one of them things like you could just look at me wrong and I'm ready to go.
Right.
But I thank God that he has brought us a long way. And people don't even understand how far we have come.
No,
and
they
I
don't.
refuse to allow people to take me back there. So, I even joke it and say that too, like, girl, don't make me lay this down now. But to be honest with you, I'm not gonna lay it down for nobody, because God been too good to me.
Yeah.
In that moment, in my head, or whether it come out of my mouth, God, Jesus, Lord, all of the above, you know what time it is.
Yes.
Now let's get it, because
That's
if
right.
not, yeah, because temptation is hard.
It is.
But we can do all things through Christ.
Yes, we
that
can.
strengthen us.
Yes, we can.
See?
And that's the reason why, I had brought up in reference to how money can really make people envious, jealous, and, those type of spirits. But, we don't talk about that enough, because a lot of people like to be hush-hush and put it up under the cover, put it up under the rug, or whatever the case may be. And we do talk about all the time. Sometimes, and I haven't told my full testimony, I've given bits and pieces, but sometimes your testimony can be a helper to somebody else, because there are a lot of people that's going through
the same
so
thing
much.
that's similar to what you
Very much so.
Yeah.
So, yes, you do have to,
Yeah.
and when God give it to you, you'll know when that
share
time
it.
comes
Exactly.
where it is that you
Yeah.
can share it. Like I said, I give my bits and pieces, but God haven't gave me to share everything
because
yet.
I'm
But it's
telling you,
coming.
It's coming. And I just feel like God does that because some people just talk because they want to have something to talk about.
That's right.
Some people just want everybody to know what's going on in their life and all of this, and at the end of their statements, they still ain't gave God none of the glory. So, God put it on your heart to testify about things that have went on in your life, in certain settings, in certain places, to certain people, because those are the people that need it. And sometimes when you're just speaking openly, then whoever is listening will catch what you're saying as well, because like you said, our life is not even about us no
It's
way.
not.
Our life is to help somebody else. And the thing about it is that we got to stop being so selfish and I, me, and add somebody else to the equation. Because that's why you, and
Ain't
you ain't progressing or
right.
even getting anything, more than what you get. And you are so comfortable in what you're getting because you don't know how to not just be a receiver. You got to be a giver
too.
God loves
That's right.
a cheerful giver.
Yes.
That means that you have to give from your heart and not talk about it.
Yeah.
You got to be able to say, this is my last $5, but I'm going to go and give it to you because I know you need that. Because guess what? In me giving it to you, guess what's going to happen? I do believe my Father going to take care of me because he knows that this is my last $5, but I feel you need it more.
That's
People
right.
got to learn how to start be givers more.
Yes, they do. Sometimes we say, oh, I'm so bad with money. Hey, believe me, I done said that myself because as me, I am a shopper.
Yeah.
I love to shop. I love to shop. I love to shop. So,
shop.
I always say, ooh, I'm bad with money because, hey, when money come in,
it goes
right out. So I have had to learn that the money that's coming in is money I'm being blessed with God. So I got to stop being frivolous and shopping. And although now I am a giver. Oh, believe me, I'm a giver. So it's not that I'm just holding tight to my money just for me or whatever the case may be. No, I do. I like to shop. I do like to shop.
Yeah, but the thing of it is that that you a giver and you will help somebody. You know what I'm saying? It's not like you just being stingy, or you ain't gonna help nobody. You ain't gonna give nobody nothing. You ain't gonna. Those type of people have to watch out. Because when your fist balled up, ain't nothing going out and ain't nothing coming in.
That's right.
And that's why a lot of times that saying is, a lot of people can't stand to be blessed. Well, if I blessed you with millions of dollars right now and you can't stop shopping, what you think you finna do? You finna take that $1 million,
but
baby, and you gonna have everything.
that kind of goes into the question that I'll have in just a minute in reference to I'm asking for blessings. Am I prepared to manage those blessings? So, just as you just spoke of, hey, God can bless you. He only, and believe me, he going to hold back on the blessings that he know would really just send you.
Because, baby, I'm supposed to have some money right now, but he said you won't stop shopping. You won't stop shopping. Every time you turn around, every time you get a little extra change after your bills is paid, you going to buy you something.
That's right. But you know what?
And I'm not saying nothing wrong with it, but at the same token, it is something wrong with it because, listen, I got other things that I could be doing that's more important.
That's true. That's true. But you know what?
Shut it down. Shut it down.
Just
all right, Jesus. I ain't touching nothing.
Right, he done gave you the clap. He done gave you the clap.
Y'all
said, yep.
Hold on, because I almost shut the podcast down. Because y'all know I was sitting here talking with my hands, and it just started clapping all of a sudden after I said that. I got you, Jesus. That was a sign, baby. That's why I say, hey, I love my God, baby. Me and him is right on time with each other. He gave me a clap like, daughter, you're right.
That's right.
Stop that shopping.
So when it is that we say that, we're bad with money or we're hurt around money, we need to start thinking about, maybe we have made some mistakes, with our blessings that we're blessed with. Maybe we were never taught. We were never. Well, one thing that I can say is that we was taught because my mama nor my daddy didn't play that.
Yeah, we was taught. So I'm not. I can't make that excuse.
And we have entrepreneurial spirits all throughout. So we can't say that part. But I can say most definitely that I've made some mistakes when it comes to money because I've had money that have just come into these fists. And not only have I freely given, but but you know what? I freely give too. That's why I don't even care. I don't care about giving nothing, baby. I get a shoes, shirt, whatever on my back. I don't care nothing about that. For real, I really don't. Because God been so good to me, baby. God be blessing me to the point where, baby, I don't even, baby, I don't care nothing about all that type of stuff. And you know what? Don't take it the wrong way when it is that because we're sitting up here talking about our blessings and what God has done in reference to from a monumental standpoint. Yeah. Because God has blessed us with life. Yes, life God is the has most blessed important. Us through a lot of different traumas that we've been through. Yes. And hey, we still going through, but hey, he bringing us through. Yes, he has brought us through. He's bringing us through, and he will continue to bring it through because I already know where it is that my helpmate comes from, and I know Miss Kiwi know where her helpmate comes from. Yes. So instead, a lot of times we think about instead of healing from those traumas, we hide it. We hide it. Yeah. Why do we hide?
Shame. Yeah. We know a lot of times it be the shame, it be pride, because we know that, girl, now you knew you shouldn't have went. And I keep going back to this, but when I say these things, I'm more so speaking about myself. Mm-hmm. Girl, you know you shouldn't have went and bought them shoes, and you know this bill finna be, you need to be paid. You feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So you start feeling bad because you know that, yeah, they just said my lights might be off, but I done went and bought some shoes, and them shoes ain't gonna walk me into no light. That's right. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So a lot of time it be our pride.
Now that's one thing that I done tried and make sure. I don't care what else may go wrong or whatever. God has blessed me with the sense to know you don't want to be sitting in the dark.
Oh no, baby, I ain't playing that. That's
you
why
don't want to be without hot water.
Pay them bills first.
You don't want to be now. Every now and again it's been a struggle with food. But hey, my mama done taught me how to make things happen and to make meals out of the least little bit of things. Believe me.
I take one pea and make a whole garden, baby.
Yes.
You better stop playing with it.
That's right. Absolutely.
But yeah, for real. So
sometimes we do look okay on the outside, but a lot of us are struggling in private. Yeah. And that's not just from a money standpoint. That's from
a lot of stuff.
Feelings, emotions. Yeah. Spiritually, you're struggling in private. And sometimes I'm gonna say I'm not one that's real talkative. I don't talk a lot of my problems through with everybody. I do a lot of talking to God because I try. It's so many people that's going through so many things that I don't like to bog people down. But what I will do is I'll wait on God to send that person, to me so that I can't, I'll then possibly open up. And I'm not going to say 100% that I'm going to open up, but I may open up then. But we do have to learn to start, talking it through a lot more.
And
because
talk
holding
to somebody
it in
who
can,
you trust.
yeah.
Because I'm going to be honest with you, and we all know, you don't want to talk to no gossiping person. Because, baby, by the time you get through telling your business to them, they done already called everybody on the hotline, baby. They done put it in group. They done had group chat, group phone calls, and baby, your business done went all through the wire, and baby, by now baby, them lights is already off, and your lights ain't even due to be off. You ain't got no food in your refrigerator because you done let Sambo eat it all up. And I'm just saying, you gotta be wiseful when you want to tell your business, and we all need somebody to talk to, but at least find somebody who's trustworthy.
Yeah.
Find somebody that's really
why I said,
into
wait
church.
on God.
Yeah, that's really into
Wait on
church.
God to
That's
send
not
them to
going to
you.
judge you, and that's going to be encouragement and a guide you in the right direction. Not nobody that's going to frown their nose up and talk about you and
That's
all
right.
of that. Because that's what people do. Like, that's what they do. Ain't no need of trying to sit here and act like they don't. That's what they
right.
do. And I'm going to tell you, there's church people that do that too.
Absolutely.
So that's why you have to have a great relationship
Discerning, yes.
with God. Ask God to give you discernment. Ask
Yes.
God to give you wisdom to be able to do that discernment.
Yes.
And when God give you the wisdom and the discernment to be able to discern the good and the bad, then don't try to use that for your benefit. Use it as God give it to you.
That's
how
right.
He gave it to you, that's how you use it. Because
Yes.
a lot of people be God will give them that gift, or God will give them something, and they turn right around and make it seem
Misuse
like,
it.
they misuse it.
Yes,
So
yes.
that's why a lot of times God don't bless us with things that He want us to have, because He knows that we can't be steward over small things. So He know He ain't gonna enlarge our territory over nothing big, because He know we've been lost our mind
That's
and
right.
hurt ourselves.
And that's what I was, that question that I was asking, am I the blessings that I'm asking for? Am I prepared
Yes.
to manage those blessings?
Yes.
Because I drop to my knees, or I may be standing up, or I might be sitting in a seat, and I'm always breaking out in prayer, asking God, not for monumental blessings, but I literally talk to God about a lot of different blessings, and
I
asking
talk to
Him
about our
to step
president.
in. But I already, oh Lord Jesus, don't talk about that orange man with the toupee. But anyway, I already know that my day and my time is coming. For the simple fact and reason being, He done showed me. He done showed me what it looks like. But He also done told me that I have some maturing, I'll say that, maturing in Him. In order for me to be able to receive it.
Yeah.
Because what He has for me
Is
right now, I'm not gonna do so well with it, even though it is that I may try. But I know that I'm not prepared.
That's why He's not going to give it to you until He knows that you're actually ready for it.
Yeah.
He's not going to give you something and He knows you're not ready for it. Now, He might test the waters because He want to see where you at with it. But He ain't going to give you what you and we can't even imagine nor think or even just phantom what it is that God may have for us, and what we think it is ain't even nowhere near what it is that He has for us.
That's right.
So that's why I say we have to get more in alignment with God.
That's right.
Let's stop trying to, blame everything and everybody, blame money, and and start just really being accountable for self.
Yes.
What is it that I can change in self? What is it can I do to make me better?
That's
as a
right.
better person, a better mother, a better sister, a better daughter, a better friend.
Everything.
Just a better.
That's right. So that's when it is the shift begins. So that's something that I have been trying to do, is comply with the shift. Here's where things have started to change for me. I'll say that. When I speak of that shift, that means my mindset.
Yes.
It means mentally. It means practically. It means spiritually. And I can truly say that I'm really spiritually growing. My mindset is still being worked on, and I guess you would say my practicality is still being worked on. But I know that if I continue to grow spiritually, then my mindset is just going to go ahead and snap all the way in.
Because the more you grow spiritually, you are becoming more aligned in God, more in tuned in God. And every time you spend more time in God's presence, the closer you become, the more in tune, the more you're aware, the more you start hearing, you actually seeing, and he's showing you things, and he's showing you through a different eye than that natural eye. You're starting to see it through that third eye, that eye that nobody can see that's up there. You're starting to see it more in the spiritual realm as opposed to the worldly realm, because when you see things from the worldly realm, everybody see everything the same.
Yeah, pretty much.
Black is blue and blue is black.
That's right. And green is green and yellow is yellow.
You know what I'm saying? And this black and white. And who is black and white? There is crayon colors that is black and white.
That's right.
But if you look at anybody, Caucasian people are not white.
No.
Black people are not black.
Well, there are some that's that color. And I'm not trying to be ignorant, but there are some that are that color.
The point that I'm making is
no, but they are because of the sun.
It's all man-made. This black and white. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's why I'm just saying, if we can start programming our minds, period, from a lot of the learned and taught behaviors that was wrong and bad, then, we will start becoming better people.
Well, yeah.
Well,
this is something that I know that we both have realized, is that faith is very powerful.
Ooh,
so when people start, and that's just it. Faith without action will keep you stuck. So when it is that you start exercising your faith and truly exercising your faith, just imagine how you can grow.
How do you exercise your faith?
So when it is that you going through a lot of turmoil and all of that stuff, instead of you taking it and start beating yourself down with it, just know that there are things that you will have to go through in order for you to grow. And if you have faith in God, God gonna bring you through it.
So what if somebody what if they don't have that type of relationship? What if they don't, they ain't never exercised faith? It's easy to sit here and say that, we need to exercise faith, or we need to have faith and all of that. But to a person that don't even know what that looks like, how, if you was to meet somebody and y'all just in conversation and you can kind of, because, you got that discernment, and you can kind of pick up on a person that don't have faith, because everything is negative, or what if, or if, or but, and then, you being a Christian woman or a woman of God, how do you introduce that? How do you come to that person without making them feel like they less than, or like they,
That's right. You know what? And that's a really, really good point. But one thing that I know for a fact that is very factual is that you can't change nobody.
Oh, no.
But when it is that you share and you give like I said, our testimonies are our biggest representation. So it's not that, and I would tell them, it's not that I'm trying to push my God on you, but I am going to share with you what my God has done for me.
Exactly.
I'm a living testimony of what it is that my God, and all I can say is test it for yourself.
Yeah.
Try and test it for yourself.
Just like online when they say try it before you buy it.
That's right.
Hey, try it. That's all.
Try it. That's all you can do.
You ain't listen. Once you try it, You bought.
That's
you
right.
already bought. It's paid for and signed,
Yes.
and this is because I'm telling you, once you go that way, you get more hungry and more.
All
hungry
it takes
and
is
more
just
hungry.
all it takes. And God says you just need that
A
mustard seed of
yeah.
faith. And do you know how small a mustard seed is?
And I would even tell somebody, like, you know, listen, if you know, I would give somebody a little, share something that has really happened in my life to get them to see, like, and you see, I'm still here to be able to tell you about it.
That's right.
So, you know, because a lot of people don't be wanting to do that, though, and
They don't.
share. You know, so you got so many unbelievers that's not believing because they seeing a lot of people that's in church or supposed to be proclaimed to be so saved. They seeing them still living the same life.
But I want them not exact. I hope not exactly the exact same life.
It might not be the exact same life, but if you in church Sunday through Sunday and I see you at, you know, if I see you coming out the liquor store with a bottle, or if I see you standing on the corner or just standing outside your house smoking, that's not going to be a good look for an unbeliever.
No,
you see
not.
what I'm saying?
It's really
and
not.
I'm gonna be honest with you, like. You know, when you stop smoking and you stop drinking and stuff, you start seeing things altogether different.
Yes, you do.
You start hearing different. You start
thinking different.
You think different. And listen, I'm not putting nobody down on nothing because God can do all things, meaning God can deliver you from the smoking and the drinking. And you just have to believe that God can do those things.
Yep.
If you don't believe in yourself or in what God can do, then ain't nobody else going to.
That's right.
But that's what we talking about, that faith. Even if you ain't never experienced it or never had that relationship with God, the way you get on the phone and get the gospel, that's how you need to drop to your knees and just get the gospel.
That's right.
Lord
Gospel
Jesus, guess what? You know what? Hey, this and that. And
but
baby,
that ain't no joke. You
I'm
talk to
listen.
him. You talk to him just like it is.
Because the more you talk
I ain't
to
saying
God,
cuss him.
the more you talk to God, the more God gonna teach you how to talk to Him.
And not only that,
God gonna show Himself.
That's right.
You feel me?
That point
you
right
gotta
there.
show yourself approval to God, cause God ain't gotta come to you for nothing.
No.
See,
no.
and don't just call on God in your time of needs or when
That's
something's going wrong or when you need a bill paid. God say come to Him for all things.
All things in the good
bad,
and yes, right, and indifferent.
God say He wants you to lean on Him at all times and not on your own understanding, because that's what got you where you're at right now.
That's right. That's right. So as I was saying, you know, faith is very powerful, but faith without action will keep you stuck. You know, I had to stop just praying for change.
Man.
And I had to start participating in it. You know, I'm asking God to change me. God, I need you to change me with this. But I ain't reading the Bible. I ain't picked it up to try to study it. I ain't tried to learn nothing about him. I ain't tried to seek him for nothing. So how can I pray for change, just pray for change, and not try to participate in it? I gotta participate. You have to put in the work. That's why
you said you asking for things that you're really not ready for.
Yep.
Stop asking. Stop asking until you really know you're ready.
Well, I ain't gonna say stop asking.
No,
because
the reason why I say stop asking, because guess what? When you asked him the first time, God got it. When you keep asking, it's like you begging for something that you know you're not ready for.
Well, I'm gonna say this. You build habit when it is that you repeat things. So eventually that habit turns into something that you will do because you've created a habit. And then you'll start to, you know, because I'll just use me for an example. Not that I've never believed in God or whatever.
You praying to God. It's like you praying to God.
I don't think it's a bad habit.
You begging for something you know you ain't willing to give. You ain't even willing to sacrifice that.
I don't think I'm begging for it because
as we always say, God, change me for this, change me for this, change me for this, for this, for this, for this, for this. You steady asking him like he didn't hear you the first time.
But you know that he gonna give you that little. And then you gonna start think. But if you just stop, that means that you're never going to, participate in that change. So
if you stop what?
If you
Asking
stop
him
praying.
No, I ain't say stop praying. I
No,
just say stop praying.
stop praying for change even.
No, I didn't even say stop praying for change, because you can pray a lot of different.
You can pray change up on you.
Yeah, you can pray for a lot, but okay, that's like I'm coming to God saying, Lord God, please deliver me from this smoking, and then I go right and smoke after I said it. Then I come back, Lord God, deliver me from this smoking. Then I go right back and say, I mean, that's like, ain't that like, I'm not saying that what I'm saying is right. I'm asking questions, and I'm just putting it out in the atmosphere, because anybody could answer the questions, and anybody that really know, because I'm still learning. And when I say I'm actually learning now the Bible, at 53 years old, y'all, 53, I am just now really beginning to understand the Bible. I'm talking about I understand the Bible.
That's because you kept at it. You didn't stop.
Yeah, I know
so that's what I'm saying, as far as from habit forming. You gonna keep you make mistakes, you make the mistakes, because we make mistakes every day.
But when you're doing the same mistake, is that really a mistake? That's what I'm asking. Is that really a mistake?
It's conscious. It's conscious.
So
you are aware of it, but you can't. But I'm gonna say I would never. I'm gonna say this is just me, and it's just my opinion. I would never discourage anyone to stop seeking. You're gonna continue. You making them mistakes, and you making those errors. You making this, but I will never say stop trying to seek. Because you gonna get it.
Well, let me say this. I'm not discouraging anybody from seeking and asking God to change them from nothing. What I'm discouraging you on doing is, if you know that you're not ready to really change and make that sacrifice, then don't keep asking God for that. Wait till you really, in your mind, in your heart.
But it says in the Bible that no one is ever prepared.
No, I didn't. You're not prepared. But all I'm saying is this. If you're going to keep on asking God for the same thing, and you know that you're not ready, do you think you're going to get a result?
He will. I'm telling you. That's where blessings come.
God ain't going to. If we just sat here and said that God is not going to force himself on us. If I'm steady asking,
He's not gonna force. He gonna keep. He gonna wait.
He gonna wait until it is that you're ready to actually do the change and the work.
That's right. So the work comes with you constantly, even though it is that you making those mistakes. It's gonna snap.
I disagree on that part. It's not a mistake.
I mean, it's conscious. It's consciousness, because you consciously know what it is that you're doing. So I'm not saying mistake. I didn't mean mistake. Okay. I meant as far as trying to create change in your life. I will never tell anybody, you need to stop trying to make change until it is that you're ready to change. You have to keep seeking. You have to keep seeking, and eventually you will. It's going to catch you. It's going to catch you, because that means that you're putting in the effort at least to try to make that change. So, I would never say stop until it is that because you ain't never going to be ready. If that's the case, nobody will never be ready, to do what it is or seek after, who it is.
You be ready, because guess what? If you want deliverance, if you really want true deliverance, then you're ready to stop
But that's
smoking.
because you're going to continue to seek. That because
I'm just
you're
saying,
going to continue.
You say nobody's never ready, but if you really want true deliverance, then that's when you become ready.
But that's what I'm saying.
Then that's when you say, God, I'm ready to be delivered.
But that's what I'm saying. Don't stop. Don't stop putting in the effort. Don't stop putting in the effort, because none of us are perfect.
No,
and everybody, even though it is that you stop or whatever, sometimes you go back and you pick it up, and you stop and you go back and you pick it up. But eventually you stop and you let it go, because you continue. You don't pick it back up.
When you never pick it back up, because you was actually ready, and God delivered you from what it was you were praying about.
Because you kept going. You kept going. You kept going.
Yeah, like I said, and I'm going to say it again. when you ask God for something the first time,
He heard you.
He
Yeah,
heard you.
no,
He heard
I'm not
exactly what
I'm not
you
disputing
said.
that part. I'm
And
just
it's
saying,
not, it's
don't
not for
stop.
you to, because you prayed and you think God heard you, it's not for you to just keep going back doing the same thing. When you start to try to come away from something, that means you're trying to eliminate it. You're trying to, if you smoking 5 times a day, that means try to go down to 3 times a day. That's what I'm
You
saying.
putting in effort.
You putting
That's
in
what
the
I'm saying. You
work
putting
to show
in
God
the
that
effort.
what you praying about, you are sincere in it. Nobody that has formed a habit gonna say, "Oh, I done just stopped." No,
that's what I'm saying.
That's not what I'm
That's
saying.
exactly what I'm
that's
saying.
not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that, because anything that has become formed habit, say it took you 5, 10, 20 years to form that habit, it's gonna take you 5, 10, 20 years to unform that habit.
Or it may not.
I'm just saying, like, it depends on your faith.
Yeah.
It depends on your
It
faith.
does.
Because God can do it just like this. As soon as before you even open your mouth about
That's
it,
right.
He can deliver you from it right then and there.
Absolutely.
But it's going to take the work of you, the faith of you. That's what I'm saying. That's how long. If it took you 5, 10, 20 years, it's going to take you 5, 10, 20 years to be delivered if your faith is not strong enough.
But you just better believe that, hey, God can stop it. He can put a halt to it 100%.
Yes, He can. I just said
right there,
yes,
quick,
He can.
but don't stop seeking.
So do we have a lot of
no, basically no.
Because it's
so basically, I can just to close it close it out on my end. The call to action is healing isn't loud, it's consistent. And this is where the real work happens. Not in big, dramatic moments, but in small, consistent decisions. Piece by piece, it looks like creating a budget, even when it is that it's uncomfortable. Saying no when you feel guilty. Choosing discipline over impulse. Learning instead of avoiding. It also looks like rebuilding how you see yourself. I had to remind myself, I'm not my past, I'm not my mistakes, I am not stuck. Because healing, it's not loud, it's consistent. It's showing up again and again, even when nobody else sees it.
Yes. And
So,
just
peace
for
by
final
peace.
words, if this spoke to you, share it with someone who's also on their journey. And remember, this isn't about perfection, it's about progress.
That's
This
right.
is money love.
Yes.
And the closing is, piece by piece, I am fixing me. Not rushed, not pressured, not compared. I release what broke me. I take responsibility for what's mine. And I give my grace while I grow. My past does not define my future. My mistakes do not cancel my purpose. And my healing is not optional, it's necessary.
That's right.
I am learning. I am growing. I am becoming whole. Piece by piece.
Amen.
I am fixing me.
Yes.
So we just would like to thank you all for tuning in on this blessed evening. We ask that you continue to tune in, share, like, subscribe, call in 515-599-1687. We will not be here next Friday, but we will be here the following Friday. And of course, we will have another great topic for you.
Yes,
if you
we
have
will.
a topic, reach out to Miss Mink or myself, Miss Kiwi, or you can still reach out to Fast Lane. Shout out to Fast Lane 747.
Yes.
He making moves, y'all.
Yes,
he
he
is
is.
still one of the hosts on Why Not Said. Right now, he just have his own project going on,
Yes.
and we are very supportive to him.
And
but
proud.
he is definitely a part of Why Not Said
Yes,
for
he is.
life.
Yes, he
Shout
is.
out to our listeners, our viewers, and everyone that supports Why Not Said.
And
on,
shout out to M. Peasy,
Yes,
because he is
definitely M.
also,
Peasy.
hey,
He's a Why Not Said
Yes, he
host
is.
as well. He's just out of another state.
Yeah.
But shout out to M. Peasy, most definitely. Go comp his book.
Books.
How Concrete Saved My Soul. And what was the first one? That's all right though. Go, you'll find them. Amazon. What else? Spotify. Anyway, next time I'm on the air, I'll make sure I have that information for you, because he have actually wrote 3 books. Yes. I've only read 1.5, but I'm still reading the second one, and I have not yet got the third one, but of course I will be supporting. So you all go out and support our Black-owned business, our young Black men, our young Black women that's trying to do something in life. Let's stop thinking about ourselves. I know a lot of times we have bad situations with some of our Black-owned businesses, but, you know, we have to learn patience. We have to be able to, instead of downgrade them, you know, maybe offer some encouragement or a piece of advice or something, instead of, you know, putting them down. But why not say we'd like to thank you all. We love you all. Until next week. Well, not next week, but the following week. Peace. Be safe. Love you guys.
Yes. Good night, everyone.
And we are off. And I'm going to play this song one time for the one time, because y'all know that this was hits.
I've been running in circles, calling it growth, but it's the same road I already know. Saying I'm done and I go back again, holding on to something that keeps breaking me in. I can't blame nobody for the choices I make. I seen the signs clear, still I stayed. It's hard to admit it, but I gotta be real. I'm the one repeating what I'm trying to heal. Piece by piece, I'm fixing me, facing truths I couldn't see. Not just love, I need clarity. I won't lose myself again so easily. Piece by piece, I'm letting go of the things I used to hold. Even if it hurts to grow, I'm choosing different now, I know. Don't tell me I'm okay if I'm doing it wrong. I don't need soft words if it keeps me stuck long. Tell me where I'm slipping, show me what I miss, help me see the pattern